Hello.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday Fun Day.
Thank you all for joining us.
Has it been a week or what?
Well, yeah, it's been a week, a whole week.
A whole week.
I've been counting the days. Oop, you've got a lot of racket going on over there.
I do. I just killed it. Forgot about the sound portion of it.
So hello, everyone. I hope everyone stayed warm this week and had a good week. I feel much better than last week, so thank God for that. Yep. It was a little rough, although I did feel better towards the end of the live last week. But it was still, even the next day was still a little rough. So it's good to be well again. I know a lot of people were sick over the holidays and into the new year, and there's still stuff going around. I know a lot of people I know in different states have been going through either the flu or COVID or other respiratory illnesses, and it's definitely not fun. So hopefully everybody gets all the illness out of their system at the beginning of the year and can have a nice year without any more illness. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah.
That would be super great. Aches, pains, and illness, I'm sure we've all had enough of.
Amen to that.
So, yeah, it's been a cold week.
It's been chilly, especially at the turn of the morning. Right before the sun wants to come up, it'll drop. We've been in the 20s, even in the teens.
And I had my first snow day.
Full snow day.
That was so much
fun. The
snow
fell and hit the ground and it stuck. So they were calling for 2 to 5 inches in this area. And I think we got about between an upper 2 and 3, somewhere in there. I think that's what we got. I didn't measure it. I'm just eyeballing it off.
You didn't get out there with your ruler?
No. We probably got 3 inches at the most.
Brett did not want to go play in the snow much at all. He's not as impressed with it as I am.
No, I've been up there. Been in the snow for a while, so I'm still.
So I had to go play by myself.
It's fun to see. It's pretty. And I actually enjoyed driving in the snow, but we did not drive in the snow because we don't know if the people here can drive in the snow.
Yeah, Brett was more content to just stay home and stay inside, and I wanted to go out and play, and I was running around our yard and acting like a fool by myself. So
I was with you for a while because we did a members live outside in the snow.
Yeah, when that ended, you were done.
Yeah,
so I just went outside by myself.
Hour. That was almost an hour, no gloves, mind you.
Well, you could put on some gloves and have some fun.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm just saying.
But anyway, I thought it was fun. So I was out there quite a bit, just roaming around the yard. Even yesterday, I was walking around looking at all the deer tracks. There was deer tracks all over the yard.
We had deer tracks on the steps.
Yeah, they were even walking up and down our steps. So that was funny.
So that's something I think we can do, because I mentioned this to her when we were cleaning off the ice on the steps today. Is the deer here are so abundant and they're so, I'm going to say friendly, but they don't walk up to you. But I believe we could get them to walk up to us. They're somewhat skittish. They're not scared of cars. They're used to that. They're more scared if you walk towards them. You can be in the yard with them as long as you're walking away from them or alongside, but the same distance. They're watching you. And if you turn towards them, they'll spook off. But I don't think it would take much to get them more domesticated where they would eat out of your hand or maybe eventually be able to pet them. I think that's possible. I've seen people do it. And I think if
Are we going to do it?
Might try. I'd put a salt lick out back down the hill first and get them used to coming around and, and then just sit and watch them. So they're used to you being close, but not approaching them.
I'm going to put that on my list then.
And then you have to just slowly bring them in. I know they like apples. There's other stuff they like, corn. Kind of bait them in, but not bait to hunt. We're baiting to see how friendly they'll get. So I think it's something we could do. I think it'd be fun to see how far we can go with that.
And we have a ton of cardinals all over the place. So that was fun seeing
too.
With the snow.
We got woodpeckers too.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love nature. I didn't build a snowman, but I did make a snow angel.
Yeah.
So next time it snows, I guess I'll have to make a snowman. We saw a bunch of snowmen when we were going to church today.
We did. And people were making them and putting them on the hood of their cars.
Yeah,
Little ones.
little hood ornaments, little
Yeah.
snowmen. That was funny. But yeah, last week we couldn't go to church because I was so sick. So it was fun to be able to go to church. I love going to church. It's a nice pick me up for the week.
Yeah. And today was a
vision service,
which is, if you're not familiar with that, they do it twice a year. So we saw the first one when we first got here. So that really is a 6-month mark for us.
Yeah, that was the very first service we went to at the church in Tullahoma. So we've been at that church already 6 months. The time flies
by. So a vision service is where they go over the financials and they talk about what money they brought in and what money they give out, and basically talks about the mission of the church and how they're doing.
The transparency of where the money's
funds, going. The numbers in terms of membership. And this church does really well with, what is it? I think is it 57% of its members are actually serving in the church in some capacity, whether it's in the community for the church or in the church.
Which is a really good number. Of course, it can always be better. Yeah. And I think the tithing number is pretty high as well in that church, which is good.
Yep.
Because they do a lot of donating to a lot of groups in the community. So they say the national average is 10% for the churches to help out in the community, where they give back 10%. And this church actually does 30%.
Yeah.
Which is very nice, because that's what you should be doing, and showing God's love in the things you do and say, and getting out there serving, whether it be in the church or in the community around you, really makes a huge difference, especially at these times when it's colder and there's illness going around and people need a lot more help with things. So it's pretty important. Check on your neighbors and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a blessing to be able to go. And, you want to see where your money is going and what the church is doing, and find out how you can help in the future and what opportunities there are for you to serve. So that was good. I know they're going to be having a volunteer meeting tomorrow night to go over more areas of opportunity.
Yeah, we might go check that out. I'm interested in what they do as far as mission work, because they actually go to what's the country? I know they go to Egypt. I want to say Nicaragua, but I don't think that was
El Salvador.
El Salvador is right next to it. So, so down there, and then Egypt and a couple others. They also have affiliated churches in New York and Massachusetts
and Delaware.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important to outreach with other churches to help them get going. Your church's first and only concern shouldn't just be of that church and building. You should help other surrounding churches thrive. So I don't know. It's just a good thing if you ever get the chance at your church to attend a vision service. I know they might call them different things, but it's pretty important, so you can get involved and see where your money is going and how you can be of more help.
And we feel we've always wanted to donate to some cause, but instead of us having to vet the cause, we find a church that is open and transparent, that we support their ideology. And we have found that here. So we donate to the church, and we let the church decide where that money goes.
Yeah, I see She Hunts was saying, I've been going to different churches to find the one that I feel comfortable in. That's good.
It's shopping.
That's what you should do. I remember when I was in Ocala, I actually was listening to the services online of a couple different churches before I chose to go to Meadowbrook. And I called it church shopping, and you should absolutely do that, because not every church you're going to feel comfortable in, or you might not thrive in that particular church. Everybody likes something different. So you should keep going to different ones until you find one where you're really going to thrive. It's important.
Yeah.
So.
And don't necessarily hone in on one denomination. I've mostly grew up Baptist, but I'm not, it doesn't have to be Baptist. Like my mom goes to a Methodist church and I went there, and there's some things that I don't really agree with completely, but they're close. And the Baptist church does some things there too I don't agree with completely, but they're close. And the non-denominational churches though have been, I think, spot on for the most part. Everything I believe. And
we went to Catholic a lot growing up, but it was often that, there's that the different, it's almost like day camp at the churches, and they'd have Bible school and all that. So the parents would send the kids to go there. So we went to a lot of different churches, Catholic, Baptist, and it was just whoever was doing the program. So we went to a bunch of different ones and met a lot of different people. I know there was even a time in my life when I was living down in Hollywood that I went to the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Kingdom Hall, and I studied with them for a year and a half to 2 years. So I've tried a lot of different.
Yeah, you were way out on the other spectrum there with that. I haven't ventured out that far.
Well, I did learn a lot studying with them. And I can tell you there wasn't all the pressure for the Christmas shopping because they don't celebrate that.
Which is crazy.
Well, it was kind of nice, though, watching everybody run around during December and not have to partake in that part of it, which I don't think it should be a huge thing about giving gifts anyway. I used to always say it should be like baked goods or crafts or something to give stuff with meaning. Just don't throw money at people and buy a bunch of gifts. I think the kids these days get way too many gifts and are a little bit on the spoiled side of things.
They're way on the spoiled side of things.
And I think we could definitely stand to tone it down a bit, because the more important thing about the holidays is actually spending time with your loved ones and doing things with them, family dinners and those type of things. Those are the memories that you're going to take with you forever, not just some $50 item you're going to play with for a couple weeks and then throw in the corner. I think
a lot of churches too will tell you about Christmas. They'll say there is no Christmas without Easter. Like Christmas doesn't mean anything without Easter.
True.
Easter is the bigger day. That's the day that he rose and professed to the world.
Well, thank you for joining us, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Now we can get the party started.
But we're not going to get too far into that. It's just important that you reach out to your community, get involved. We think through the church is a good way to do that. And you pick one that's comfortable with you.
Yeah, I think that's a good goal for 2025 is to get more involved in your community and get out there more and volunteer and spend more time with the people around you. There's a lot of people who spend way too much time indoors by themselves, and it's not very healthy.
It's not healthy. We weren't meant to be loners.
No, we are better together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a very fun day at church. I love going to church and I love getting to talk to new people there. And it just helps have a more positive week.
Yeah, we just wrapped up the last few months. Actually, we just wrapped up Revelations. I believe the next week we're starting in Hebrews. So,
all right, Christy, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you made it to this one too. But yeah, another important thing, one last thing I'll say about church is, it's very easy to be nice to the people that are nice to you and to love the people that you agree with. It's much harder to love the people that you don't like or don't agree with or who are causing you a lot of problems or saying a lot of negative things about you. Those are the bigger challenges. but God wants us to love everybody, even those people.
And let him deal with them.
So you need to continue to pray for the people that are harming you, wronging you, or that you don't agree with. And God will fix at least one of you, if not both of you, and you can deal with it better. But I know there's plenty of negative people that say awful things, and I don't let any of that bother me, because
it doesn't matter what
it doesn't matter what they think. It really doesn't. And our time here is very short compared to eternity and the beautiful things coming. So I feel sad for those people that that's how they choose to live their life, being miserable, saying negative things. And I continue to pray for those people, but I don't let it bother me. I don't pay any mind to the things they're saying. I think it's ridiculous that they have nothing better to do with their time. But all in all, I really do feel sorry for them. So I'll continue to pray for all those people and continue to pray that they stop doing the devil's work and soften their hearts and figure out who God is and have a relationship with him.
Maybe if we just stay away from those people, then we don't have to be nice to them, right?
And that's not how
doesn't work that way.
That's not how that works either.
That's my way of dealing with it.
You can't put yourself in a bubble, although sometimes it's very tempting to put yourself in a bubble. I know a lot of times in my past when people have wronged me, I try to close myself off away, and you put up walls and you try to keep yourself away because you don't want people hurting you again, but you can't live that way. And why would you want people to change you like that? Because it makes your heart hard and it just changes who you are, and you're letting them get away with that. And it's horrible. But yeah, you can't do that. You can't shut yourself away.
I'd like to keep in our memories too, as in the news, the California wildfires are horrible. They're bad.
It's very sad.
There's a lot of agencies and people in power to blame. There's plenty of blame to go around, but we're not here to do that. I just want to pray for those people and that their recovery and that their losses are minimized, and hopefully God is looking over them. And I maybe I'm being selfish here, and maybe I shouldn't be thinking, but it does come to my mind: is it possible? Could this be a Sodom and Gomorrah action that's happening over there in California? I'm not going to say, I don't know, but it did come to my mind. Personally, I did think of that. And I'm like, wow, I wonder if this is like Sodom and Gomorrah.
I will say that during these different times when you have wildfires or hurricanes or large destruction, it's a time for people to come together.
It is. Yep.
It's a time for you to put the division away and to just show each other love and kindness. And I think that's really what God loves to see come out of these situations.
And I would like to see those in power in California put their money in the right places. If you read some of the stories, they're horrific, where money's been taken away from the forestry people. And, 10 years ago, there were plans to spend millions of dollars on aquifers so that they'd have water to fight fires like this. And there's no water there now. They're running out of water to fight the fires. Now they're using salt water. So read the stories. I mean, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but I'm just hoping that they will allocate the funds to things that are more important.
I certainly hope in the future that these celebrities and people that have platforms and money use those resources and platforms to shed light
to do good
on the different things, to do good and come together and make changes. I personally, if I lived there and I had all that money, I guess I would have left quite a while ago. It's a shame how a lot of decisions are ruining that state. But, there's a lot of people that grew up there and that's home to them and they don't want to leave. And I can understand that part. So in the future, I just hope that they can band together and have some good come out of this bad.
Yeah, and prayers go out to all the first responders that are helping with
Absolutely.
that. The neighboring states, I know Oregon was mentioned, Idaho, Utah. I'm not sure about Nevada. I know those 3 or 4 were mentioned. The border states, maybe even Washington, probably parts of Canada are also helping. I see in the chat some mention of Canada. Maybe they're helping too. I didn't read that part, but that could be. I know even Alaska has sent smoke jumpers. They call them smoke jumpers up there, where they jump out of planes and they work from an isolated. They set up a base camp there in the woods and they just air supply, drop everything in there to them. So I would imagine some of them are there too. I don't know that. I didn't read that, but they usually will deploy them to other areas if they're not needed there.
And it's times like this you realize how more important your life is
and
and
how
your
fragile
loved ones are,
how fragile life is,
than all the stuff you own or the things that are inside of your house or even just your house. To be able to still have your life, that's the most important thing. I know it still sucks to lose all your stuff and pictures and stuff that is, you can't replace it, but if you still have your life, that's the most important thing. So it really brings a lot of perspective on things.
Hi, Heather. I just saw your comment. I'll go back and watch it. I did not catch in this morning, but I'll go back and watch that. I don't know who his guest was, but I usually chime in. The smaller channels, if you're watching, I do try to give y'all some support. I don't always chat in the chat, but I try to log on and I listen.
His niece lives 3 miles from where the fires are.
Yeah, there's a lot of people affected by the fires and the smoke. And, you can't even breathe down there right now.
Yeah, I remember when we were in Alaska during those fires, the air quality was so bad and it could have been much worse.
That was a big reason why we decided to go ahead and leave Fairbanks when we did, was
and go down,
the air quality.
And go to Anchorage. Yeah, the air quality was horrible. I couldn't imagine living in that for any length of time. And that's something that they deal with often. Mm-hmm. So that's very hard. And a lot of people then have to stay indoors, which I can tell you this past week was staying indoors is not much fun.
No, that's something
I am not used to, because in Florida, you don't have those problems. No. There's no snow there. And when it does get cold, it's really over pretty quickly.
Yeah, and this is a small house. This is not a big house. And we didn't want a big house.
So when I tell you I was running around the yard by myself a couple of days a week, I wasn't kidding. I was like a little kid just running around, and there was foot tracks all around our house.
Yeah.
And
And we went for a walk down the street too, just to get out of the house. It was quiet.
But I like being out there in the snow and acting like a little kid. So that was fun for me. But now it's nice all melting
out there right now.
Now it's getting hot.
It was 44 degrees outside, and actually in the house, we keep it cooler. We like it cooler. It's 66 degrees here in the main living area. The bedroom might be colder. What we've done, though, is we recently went on Marketplace and got I may have mentioned this last week. We got a propane heater, and we like it. It's a 30,000 B2 Mr. heater. I'm sure you've seen them. They're pretty popular. All the stores here are sold out of them. You can't get them. Even I tried to get an extra propane bottle, and they're all sold out of those too, just to be able to have one to switch out. But never did get an extra bottle. But I do have a 40-pound bottle, and so far it's lasted 4 or 5 days. I think we're on. I don't know how long a bottle lasts. We're trying to be misers with the propane. We only run it when we're up. When we go to sleep, I turn it off. We do have another radiant heater, an oil fire, like an oil-based heater that heats up, that we leave on at night. She's a pretty light sleeper anyway, so I'm not worried about her sleeping through anything. But we have carbon monoxide detector here in the house, right near the propane heater. So if there was a leak, it would detect it right away. So we're very aware of that.
I wish I was a heavier sleeper, but it seems ever since I got pregnant with my son many moons ago, that changed everything for me, because before that I was a heavy sleeper and it was really easy for me to sleep. But then once I had him, it's like, you're freaking out your first kid, every little noise, and you want to make sure they're all right all night long. And, so I've been changed ever since.
But when we got down in the 20s and in the teens, even the heat pump isn't very efficient. It's not designed to heat a space at that temperature. They're good for about a 20-degree ambient temperature. So if you're 50 degrees outside, it would be good from 30 to 70. That's their optimum range. If you get outside of the 20-degree difference from the outside temperature, they become increasingly less effective. We could hear that heat pump running all night, and it seemed to be making very little difference. So I was like, let's just turn it off. I'm not going to run that heat pump 24 hours, and it hardly does anything. So we'll get a propane heater. Propane will fire it. We'll heat this place up like that, and we can monitor it that way. So that's what we're doing. And it's not cold here long or often. It's not like Alaska. I would come up with some other plan if it was Alaska, natural gas or something, but we don't have natural gas here.
How bad do you feel, Jessica?
Yeah, she feels bad for us. It's not.
She almost feels bad for sitting on her balcony in Cancun right now.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that. She's got a travel allowance that's pretty good.
I know. Next time you should stuff me in your suitcase there, Jessica. I've never been to Cancun.
They got flights from Nashville to Cancun.
Are you going to drop me off? Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Jessica. You can tell us all about it and show us your beautiful pictures. Though I think if you were really my best friend, you would have stuffed me in the suitcase. Just saying.
So we do have another purchase. It hasn't actually happened yet, but we're planning on for tomorrow. We've made an agreement. They're just not available today to get it, or I would have gotten it today. A ceiling fan. I know. I had a ceiling fan. I took that ceiling fan down because it needed to be adjusted anyway, but it really wasn't in a good spot. And upon closer study of this fan, it has a broken, the little parts that hold the blades. One of them was cracked almost all the way through. In fact, one of those blades was going to spin off of there and hurt something or someone.
Maybe they were hanging clothes on it.
Maybe.
I remember when I was a teenager, me and my sister used to hang clothes on our ceiling fan and then set it on high and watch all the clothes fly all over the room. So
that ceiling fan wasn't really in a good place. We need it to be more over the living room so that it can push hot air rises. And on this propane heater, I keep pointing behind me because it is right behind me. It's just off. But that propane heater kicks out a lot of heat. I'm telling you, it kicks some heat. I've got a fan that's an accessory item for this heater that goes into the back and plugs into the I forget what it's called, but
the thingamabobber.
Yeah, it regulates itself with the thermometer. So when it kicks on, it blows out. So it'll blow the heat more out into the center of the room instead of just radiating straight up. But anyway, what I'm getting to is I want to get another ceiling fan. I found one I wanted. I wanted one that was just not strictly indoors, but it was indoor-outdoor. In other words, humidity won't make the fins sag because some indoor ceiling fans are not designed to take any humidity. And if we
someone
plan
hung one outside in my house in Ocala.
They'll
when
hang.
I bought
They'll sag.
house they had on the back porch.
Oh, that one was terrible.
They had put an indoor fan outside and it was just like
in Florida. And the blade was almost like this.
I don't know what they were thinking, but I had to replace that.
So I wanted a composite bladed fan. So it's indoor, outdoor, because we plan on opening these windows because we like the natural air.
Definitely.
So I knew I wanted an indoor, outdoor fan. I wanted it to be remote control because where I'm going to hang it, you can't reach it. It's going to be out from the second story, out from the balcony, and it's going to push the warm air back down and circulate the air, making the propane heater more efficient. It'll be on a low speed.
I still think you need scaffolding or something for that project.
It's going to be helter-skelter trying to get up there and do that. But
I told him he just needs to get a deck of cards and get a hobby because he keeps coming up with these projects that are sketchy. So I don't know.
But we found one.
Pray for him, please.
We found a little 52-inch fan. It retails for $109 at Lowe's, and they're selling it for $50. And it's brand new. They did hook it up, but they took it down because it wasn't big enough for the space. It's perfect for what we need. We don't need it to be a big fan. It can be a small fan. We don't care about a light fixture on it, and it needs to be reversible. It needs to be operated with a remote control. So it met all those conditions, and the price is right. So we should be getting that fan tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and run the electric.
I think we should get a disco ball to put up there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and run some electric. I looked it up online, this exact fan, and got the wattage. It's only a 35-watt fan. I transfer that over to amps, so I know what size wire to use. And so I've got that all set up. I've already got everything I need as far as wiring.
So is that a no on the disco ball?
No, I don't have a disco ball.
Because when I was growing up too, me and my sisters, and when my son was little, we had a disco ball in our living room, and we used to have some disco parties with play some Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh my goodness.
Get out the hairbrushes
and the twister
and sing some songs. It was good times. It was good times. I think people should do a lot more of that.
Yeah. So these propane heaters, it's a Mr. Buddy. They sell them in 10,000, 20, and 30,000 BTU ranges, and they sell for about $250. And we found this one from a lady. We got it last Saturday, I think. So we may have mentioned it last week for $125. So I think that was a great deal. It's been working fabulous. Love it.
Fabulous.
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 So those are our recent purchases on Marketplace that we got good deals on.
Still trying to find a vanity top.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it would be good if we go to some of those Habitat for Humanity stores. I see the closest one that I found was in Shelbyville.
Okay.
And there's some in Huntsville. But I think we should go to one of those and see if we can't find some stuff there. I've never been to one.
Me neither. I bet that'd be a good video too. You can check that out.
Yeah. So put that on your list of things to do, my friend.
Other projects we have too. I noticed from the snow melt, and it was bad when it rained, but the rain was stop and go. So I think we're going to put gutters. The house has gutters. The garage need gutters on part of it, not the whole thing. We don't need to gutter the whole thing, but we need to gutter the part where you walk in under the carport, because that catches 75% of what's on that roof, because the upper roof drips down on the lower roof. The lower
pretty
roof
sloshy
drips
over
down.
there.
Yeah, it's a steady drip that you have to walk through in order to get into the carport. So
pretty sloshy, and it's pretty cold.
Need about 30 feet of gutter with one turn, and I think that's all you would need for that. You don't need to do the whole garage, but I think that would be a tremendous help, especially when there's snow up there. It's dripping constantly. It's like a river.
And tomorrow we're finally going to get to the gym, right?
Yes.
We're supposed to get to the gym this past week, but being sick, then the cold weather, they closed the gym.
Yeah.
I think from Wednesday on, the gym was closed.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I felt better to go there, there was no going there because it was closed. So
there's one thing we noticed.
I'd love to tell you that I worked out at home all week and that I ate right and all those other things, but that would be a big fat lie.
Yeah, we don't want
so I didn't do any of that.
I worked out, I think, 2 days.
I worked out zero days. So I haven't got back on the wagon and just been eating whatever.
The Bowflex, I'm not a big fan of it. I think on paper it looks good, but it takes a lot to set the things up.
I like the other weight ones.
I'll use it in a pinch, but I like the free weight better.
I definitely would like free weights way better, or the machine weights. I don't care for the Bowflex that much at all.
Yeah, so I'm not going to invest any more in that. I'm going to keep the one I have because I can use it in a pinch. And with my shoulder, I can definitely do some shoulder work with it. It's good for that. And there's a couple of things I do like on it. But for the most part, I'm glad I didn't pay for a brand new one because I'd be disappointed with it.
No.
I don't think there's enough. The stretchy bars, the bow bars are not that great. You only get about half of what they say is on there. If it's a 50-pound resistance, you're only getting about 25 pounds out of it.
It's weird. I've never had a Bowflex before.
Me neither. Not a big fan.
I have had the other weight machines that have the stacked weights.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in retrospect, that would have been better to get one of those since Sam's Club was selling them for fairly cheap. But here we are. So now the big thing is just to get in gear and get moving and just do it.
It doesn't compare to the gym.
No, I love going to the gym. I just hate the drive to get there.
Yeah. But I mean, it takes about 25 minutes to get there. But once you're there, you'll work out for a good 2 hours.
For sure.
Because you're there, you want to make it worth it. Since 2 of us are working out, plus they have an outdoor track that I really like, through the wood trail track that is measured, so you know how far you're running.
The bigger part, though, is your nutrition. Yeah. Because you can work out for however long and however many days a week you want to work out, but if you're eating wrong, then it's no bueno, no good. So with any plan, 80% of it is your nutrition. So your nutrition has to be on point. And when the first of the year started, I was on it. I was eating great and everything was good and whoo. And then all of a sudden I got sick. And then when I got sick, once I started feeling better and like I could eat, I started eating all the wrong crap, basically crap. So now I just got to kick myself into gear and realign your thoughts, because a lot of it is mental and you really got to get inside your own head, because you are your worst enemy. You truly are. Yeah. And you say and think some very negative things about yourself, and it's easy to let yourself off the hook.
Losing weight
and it's easy just to be lazy and all those other things. So you really got to get your head in the game and just keep yourself focused. And what do you want for yourself? And the biggest thing is you want to feel good. You want to feel healthy, and you want to, feel young and vibrant and all these wonderful things, and not feel like you're dragging butt and you feel sick and everything else. And that's what the crappy food will do to you. It makes you feel like crap.
And then you continue to eat it for like feel good food, but it doesn't make you feel good.
Keep comforting yourself. Right?
You're eating it as comfort food. So you're overeating.
Right.
So we got to get back into it, and we're going to do that tomorrow. We're head set on it. We're going to do it. That gym should be open more regular now since we're past the holidays. And
the inclement weather.
Yeah. And I can tell you, it don't take much to close things up here. Oh gosh. They closed schools on the forecast of snow. So Wednesday they had closed schools for Friday. Now in this case it worked out, but I was never a big believer of closing schools until there's a reason to close them, for sure. Like if it closes that morning, just real early, 5 o'clock in the morning, announce it, bam. Have a cutoff time that you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. But I know people like that advance notice, and that's all great. And it worked out. This time it worked out.
That's a good plan, Jessica. Put on your boogie shoes.
It was a very predictable storm. It was a huge, massive storm. It was moving consistently across the U.S. in a northeasterly pattern. So it was very predictable. But sometimes I know in Alaska, they don't close schools for anything up there, I don't think, except maybe rain. I've seen rain close schools up there.
Yeah, here we just got a couple of inches, so it wasn't anything devastating.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge pile, but they don't have the equipment here to move the snow, to clear it. We didn't go anywhere, so we don't really know what they did with the main roads. But they look great today. They look fabulous. We're on a secondary road. I didn't see anybody clearing it, but it cleared itself. So I think the roads were good. Some shadowed areas still had
says rain ain't funny in January.
No, it's ridiculous in Alaska. When it rains and it's January, the overnight, they're not really a night. So whenever it does that temperature decides to drop, it can drop in a hurry. Jason, weren't you in the minus 40s just a week or so ago, and now you're at plus 40? I mean, that's a huge difference in a week's time. Let's say
they
a
had
week.
13 inches last week in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Woo! Yeah. So that ice is nothing to play with. Driving in the snow is fun, but it's the ice you got to worry about.
Ice, baby.
Dun, 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 dun. So we do have some more projects coming up. I mentioned the ceiling fan and the gutters, and I don't know if I mentioned I started hanging the kayaks on a pulley system. I kind of abandoned that project, but I got one of them hung up, and I got to do the other one. So that one is still on my list. I still need to install the Simply Safe doorbell camera. I haven't done that yet. And I got a tire pressure monitoring system for the RV, and I've got a replacement fog light that hasn't even come in yet. But those two are also projects for the RV. I also got a bypass kit for winterization on the RV, and I'll go through that on a video. What I'm trying to do is bypass. I don't need to bypass the hot water tank. That already does that. I'm bypassing that filter system. So I'll be going over that. Let's see. I think that's about it. Now, if you're ready for the soapbox segment, I can get on that. But
hey, I hear the soapbox segment all day long, every day of the week.
All right, we'll do soapbox.
Just special for y'all.
And then we have mail too, but we'll do mail last. So on our soapbox segment, this is not more of a grievance. This is going to be more of a safety, because we ran into something here in this house. This is an older house. It was built in '86. So if you live in an older home and you weren't that familiar with it, or you didn't participate in the building of the home, there are a few things to keep in mind. I don't know where to start with this.
At the beginning.
So
it was a cold and lonely day.
It was a cold and lonely day. We have a radiant heater that we keep on, and it's plugged in across the way there, and it doesn't blow much warm air. In fact, we have a small USB powered fan that kind of blows through the fins. I'm sure you've seen them before. It's the radiant heaters. Usually see them in a bathroom or a smaller space, but we use it to kind of maintain the loss of heat at night when we sleep, because we're not going to run this propane stove when we're sleeping. So we use it to just kind of, the temperature will fall off, but it'll fall off slower. So we run that at night or when we're not home. And it's on a circuit that was on a circuit with 4 other plugs. The problem is each plug did not have a dedicated circuit. That means if you're on a 20 amp breaker, which this case we'll use 20 amps because that's what this one is. We had that heater on. She was doing some toast, which if you use a toaster,
cheers.
A toaster is 5 to 8 amps.
Oh, not that kind of toast.
A coffee makers can be up to 10 amps, and we'll talk about the 2 types of coffee makers. Then you have a 1500 watt heater. That's usually the highest setting on a heater. That's 12.5 amps. So if you add all that up, you already have gone past your 20 amp breaker, so it's going to pop. So that's what happened. Pop, so when it went off, something else that was plugged in also went off. So I know there are at least 4 plugs on that circuit, 2 in the kitchen and 2 in the dining room. So I was like, what's going on? Why is this popping? And so I put my hand. We also noticed that the 2 receptacles in the kitchen, there's more than 2, but these 2 in particular are on the island, and they were warm to the touch, to touch them. So I was like, these wires are heating up, and it's because of the heater. Not just the heater, but the couple other things that were on there too are only used intermittently. So it was mostly the heater alone was making those wires warm up. If you have a 20 amp breaker, you should have 12 gauge wire servicing that 20 amp breaker. I don't know that there's 12 gauge wire in this house, but you got 4 plugs sharing 20 amps. So if you do the math, you have to space those things out. So I got the heater off of that circuit. So now the kitchen has its full 20 amps again with the other 2 plugs that are in the dining room.
You must have been reading my mind, Melanie.
So
Mary math.
Yeah, I ran an extension cord, a heavy duty industrial extension cord that can more than handle that heater from an upstairs plug. I did that because I know it's a dedicated circuit. Nothing else is on it. It's a 20 amp circuit. It gets the full 20 amps all by itself. And now I can run that heater and not worry about how many amps I'm pulling. And I know that was the problem because now you can go back to those plugs in the kitchen and they're not warm at all. They're, room temperature where they should be. So it can run the toaster and the coffee pot and whatnot. But when you plug in 12 and a half more amps, it can't handle that. It's too much. So I'm just saying, be careful. I don't know under new construction if each plug must be a dedicated circuit, but this house was built in '86, different codes back then. I know there are at least 4 plugs on that circuit, and they should not be that many plugs. You can get away with 2. In fact, I ran some in the garage. A couple of them are in a series, but I know what I'm plugging into them isn't going to be pulling a lot of power. You can usually check the label on an appliance to see how much power it's pulling. Usually it'll give it to you in watts. You can just plug it into your phone and convert it to amps. Amps is what you want to figure out because that's what your wire gauge is designed to carry, is so many amps. So I just wanted to say, be aware of that. If you feel plugs getting warm, it means it's probably on a circuit with something else and you're overheating your wiring system. So just be cautious. I've seen plugs melt the covers, and that's way too hot.
Now I'm going to have the Green Acres song in my head. Thanks, y'all, because I did used to watch that when I was a kid.
Green Acres is the place to be.
Farm living is the life for me. Okay.
The 2 types of coffee makers. This is an RV subject too, because your power is somewhat limited in an RV unless you're in a place where power is not a problem. You're plugged in. You got plenty of power to give. But in most cases, you want the coffee pot that when it comes on, it brews, and it cuts off. You don't want the one that stays hot all day. It has the glass carafe and the heating element. It sits on the heating element. That heating element is on all day. Unless you have that thing on a timer, it stays on, and it'll burn the coffee in your coffee pot. I like the ones that brew into a carafe, a thermos, and it cuts off. When it's done brewing, it's off. So it's only on for maybe 7 to 10 minutes, and then it's off. That's what you want in a camper, and I think that's what you want at the house too.
Thank you, Amy.
So I just wanted to mention the 2 types of coffee pots. I'm not a big fan of the glass ones that the base plate stays hot all day. I think those are dangerous. Plus, they burn coffee. They waste electricity. I mean, there's just numerous things I don't like about them. But, to each their own. Just letting you know.
Here's my question that I had. Does anybody have any experience with any earplugs in particular for snoring?
Who snores?
You do.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, you do. And I am a very light sleeper. So all throughout the night, I'm going, "You're snoring." And he's like, blah, 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 and argues with me.
That's a good time to check the heater, make
sure
everything's okay.
That he is not snoring and carrying on when, in fact, he's sawing down the whole dang forest. So does anybody have any experience with any earplugs in particular that work? Because I've heard a few people say they've used earplugs and that solved the situation. Some people have moved into separate bedrooms, which, that's not really an option. So, but I have threatened it because, a good night's sleep is very important. But I've heard stories of some people who have been married over 20 years and they haven't had a good night's sleep in over 20 years. And I'm like, what? So here we are at the 5-year mark, and
I sleep good.
I know you do. I know you do. but I do not. And I would like some relief. So I need to find out if there's some earplugs that will save this problem for me and I can get some sleep at night. So videotape him. Someone says he still would say that
Shrink wrap.
that wasn't him or something. But yeah, he is pretty bad. I know my son, he's even louder when he snores. I don't know. He's going to have a problem. His girlfriend's going to need some serious earplugs.
Oh yeah, he's
he is way loud. But
you
now,
gotta turn the TV up in the other room with him.
But now he's not here anymore, so you can't blame him. So it's all you. The whole forest, you think the forest is gone, but every night he finds a new forest.
Is this your soapbox segment?
It is. And I need help. I need earplugs.
This is T's soapbox.
I need earplugs. Somebody help me.
You're going to have a dozen earplugs coming in the mail now. Oh my goodness.
I know. I always see those sleep number beds or whatever where it adjusts for the person snoring. And I'm like, I need that. I need that in my life. So, yeah. So that's my soapbox. And those are my dilemmas. And I need some earplugs, please.
Well, we've got some interesting mail for you today. Mail. We've got mail. So the mail trucks are still running up here in the snow and ice, although we haven't really seen them.
I have not seen
Thursday they didn't run because it was, when a president passes away, the mail service is closed. And Thursday, I believe they observed that. And so Friday should have been running. I don't know if they did or not. I didn't actually see them.
Did the mailman bring me some earplugs? Are there earplugs in that Jeep,
Maybe.
Please, mailman?
So is Veteran Nation in the house? Are they listening today? If not.
Oh, first time you got mail in 9 days. My goodness.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I want to give a shout out to Veteran Nation.
Ooh.
We thank you for the great shirts.
Thank you, Mike. That was very nice of you.
Yep.
Thinking of us.
Wear them proudly as we are part of Veteran Nation here at Madam Mayor's.
It's a nice logo.
We will collaborate with good people, and they are good people. And here's a second T-shirt.
Which one do I get?
I don't know which one you want.
I'll take the red.
The red or the gray. It doesn't matter to me.
I'll take the red. Or maybe we can switch them up.
Yep. They're nice and big, so they should fit us both.
Thank you, Mike.
We appreciate that, Mike. And we appreciate what they do over at Veterans Nations. And what they do over there is great for our veterans and other people alike, working with them. Now, this was an interesting one. This is from Christy Phillips.
Christy in Ohio.
Yeah, Christy in Ohio. And she reached out to, as some of you know, I'm sure some of you do, in Alaska, there is a big YouTube channel up there called Summers in Alaska. And they spell it.
Mike is in the crowd.
They
so
spell it
thank
with
you.
an O-R-S because their last name is Summers. Pretty cute play on words. We did not reach out to them or try to meet them. I know they're busy. He works up north on the slope, and she raises kids at the home, and their channel is about raising kids in Alaska, basically. And we watch their channel, not religiously, but on occasion I'll pop in there and see what they're doing. But Christy bought some stuff for us from their merch store.
Alaskan Apparel.
Alaskan Apparel. Here's my beanie hat.
And that's good because you need that. And this one is so cool. I'm so excited for this because you can put your ponytail or your messy hair bun through it. So I need that. So I'm so stoked. Thank you so much, Christy. Oh, thank you. Mike says we need more super chats.
Oh,
thank you so
Mike.
much. But yeah, I'm so stoked about this because this is a serious problem when you have long hair, ponytail hair, you got your messy bun, and you can't wear any hats because it's all trapped up in the mess. So thank you so much, Christy. I'm so excited. And I love the color of it. And I know Brett is excited because he's been needing a beanie. He found his Washington Redskins.
Yeah, but it's really thick and it gets too hot.
Yeah,
and so I'm like, I'm pulling it off my ears.
And I love the color of that one.
Yeah, the color
too.
of this one is really nice. So I did want to reach out and kind of give a plug into Alaskan Apparel, not just because of the merch, but because they're a good channel. They're good people. They're family oriented. We like what they're about.
Thank you, Jason.
They're also a big channel, so they don't need my endorsement, but they have, I think, close to, I want to say 300,000 or 400,000 subscribers. So they're a big channel.
It's good to support.
They're doing a great job.
Small businesses.
Yep, they're a great looking couple, great looking family, and they're doing great things up there in Alaska. They're from North Pole. Keep doing what you're doing. You don't need my endorsement whatsoever.
I know Jason had got me this awesome tote bag from them, which I had opened, and I take that thing with me everywhere now, and I can fit so much stuff in there. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Jason. I use it a lot.
I did reach out to them to let them know that I would be, giving them a plug in on our channel today. I haven't heard back from them, but they're busy. They're a big channel, so I understand. Maybe one of you guys has a closer reach out to them and can say, hey, Madam
Jason knows them.
Plugged you in. Oh, you know them.
Yeah, they're a sweet family, and we appreciate their good products, and we thank you, Christy, and we love your color choice too. It is the Army Green.
Yeah, Jason, if you run into them, tell them that we'd like to be as big as them one day.
But yeah, it's nice to be able to support local businesses. So that is super sweet. And they have a lot of cool products. Like I said, I love the tote bag. I know I'm going to love this hat. What else you got there?
I think this is something.
Oh, a Happy New Year's card. Wishing you a Happy New Year. This card is, hope the year ahead brings nothing but the best to you, your friend, Georgette. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. We hope you have a good new year too. I hope everybody has a really awesome year this year.
And this one, I'm going to let you talk because there was some confusion about who it was from.
That's from Jason.
This one is from Jason. Okay.
Yes. Originally, I thought this was from Christy, because she said we might think it's from Jason, but it's not. But she sent the Alaskan apparel stuff.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
So this one came from Jason.
We first thought this calendar was from her, but it was from Jason.
Thank you, She-Huns. That's so sweet of you.
But it says, Brett and Therese, I hope you enjoy this calendar of my view of Alaska. Hope all is well. Take care. At the Baskin Adventures.
Yes, Amanda is a wonderful photographer, and she takes gorgeous pictures. And she made a calendar this year. I think she might have made one last year too.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And she just has some very amazing shots in here. And you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram as well. Oh, Jason says it's from Amanda.
Oh, okay.
Which Amanda is his niece.
Yeah.
But she does some beautiful shots. She's got this cute new puppy. Her and her husband, they're just wonderful people. They welcomed us so nicely. We went to their family dinners, and it was just a blessing to be able to spend time with them.
And it says under the picture where the picture was taken too. I like that.
Yeah. And if you check out her Instagram and her Facebook, you'll see all these gorgeous pictures she's always posting. And of course, she has this, if you think my hair is long, you should see how long her hair is. It's even longer. She's just beautiful. Just a beautiful person inside and out.
Got that long, beautiful black hair the Athabascans have.
Yep. Just wonderful people. It was such a blessing to get to meet them. And if you want a calendar too, she's got calendars still for sale, I'm sure. But I would
the fireweed.
Definitely look her up and check out all her pretty photos.
When this fireweed, it flowers all the way to the top. And when it starts to go, when it flowers going up the stem, and when it gets to the top, it tassels. And then that's how you know fall is coming. So these bloom all summer and then they're gone.
And look at that.
The Northern Lights.
I still need to see some Northern Lights. I know Jason had sent me some pictures of the beautiful fireworks show they had, which was the Northern Lights. And I was like, oh, I wish I was there to see that. So beautiful.
That's probably the 40-mile herd, they call it, crossing up there.
The caribou.
The caribou herd, yep.
But yeah, she has some just gorgeous, gorgeous pictures.
It's pretty up there, no doubt.
It definitely is. And that's the note section. And then if you see on the back, that is where you can look her up on Instagram and Facebook. And you can just see she has a ton of cool pictures, and you can be able to see her cute little doggy.
And again, these are great people, or we wouldn't support them.
Yep. And again, that's supporting local small businesses. Might not be local to where you're at, but it is a small local business in Alaska, and they are just wonderful people with big hearts. And they just made us feel like family when we were there. So.
And as some of you know, I lived up there a long time and I loved it. I just left because of the cost of living is outrageous, and you saw some of that. So
yeah, and it's gorgeous there. It's a unique place. There's a lot of good people there, and I enjoyed our time there immensely, and I look forward to going back.
Another she hunts. Thanks for the 10. I just saw that. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
I'm already getting teary-eyed thinking about it.
I know.
I miss Jason and the family.
Yeah. You need to see Alaska in January, though. You need to experience the 40 below penguin walk from the airport out to your car.
Yes, I definitely want to.
Jason knows what I'm talking about with the penguin walk. You got to walk a certain way or you're going to be whoop.
So thank you so much again, Amanda. This was so sweet for you thinking of us.
Yep. And once again, Out to Summers in Alaska is their YouTube channel, and Alaskan Apparel is their merch. And she does a great job with that channel. A lot of hard work goes into building a channel.
Yeah, and they've had a channel for like 10 years, I believe.
Oh, yeah. They're good at it. So they definitely got something going on up there.
Super nice, meeting nice people. But yeah, I do miss it, and I want to go back.
Any of you guys in the chat got anything you'd like for us to discuss? I think we hit all of our highlights.
Any questions anybody has?
Melbourne, Australia is in the house. Hello, Melbourne.
What about headphones that play soft music? That might work. I know I saw that they now have like this head wrap that has built-in headphones that you can wear while sleeping. So that might work. I don't know. I have to get some reviews. I don't know if anybody's seen those. I know lately they've been popping up in Facebook feed a lot because, you know, your phone spies on you. So it probably hears me talking about these things. So either I need that head wrap with the built-in headphones, or I need some kind of earplugs. What's the next place on your adventure list?
We look at each other going,
I don't know, but I'm dying to go somewhere.
We do want to go somewhere. We still haven't had much luck with the doctor getting the referral. So we're going to be on the phone with them tomorrow to find out, to try to get a forecast of if this is going to happen or not, or if we're just going to abandon the whole thing and I'll just nurse my own shoulder and it's go about our business. That's almost where I'm at, because I'm fed up with these people. Your primary care manager is supposed to send a referral. They say they're going to do it. They do it. They do it wrong. You call them. You try to get it corrected. A week goes by. You hear nothing. It's just you having to run it all down. So I'm about ready to drive over there and tell them to do it while I stand here. This is where it needs to be addressed to. This is the phone call and the contact. And when you're done, you're going to call them and let them know you sent it, and they're going to confirm that they've received it. Then I'll leave. I am tired of, that's another soapbox. Tired of people not doing what they say. If you don't intend to do it, don't say you're going to do
Mike says, let's go on a search for Bigfoot.
it. Yeah.
And here you go. Here again is the Instagram and the Facebook. If you go on there and type that in, you will bring up her site at the Baskin Adventures on Facebook and on Instagram.
Really good people. Young, attractive couple once again. I think they do a little bit on does he not have a were they thinking about starting a channel? Or was that another relative of his? I always get the two of them mixed up.
I don't know. He does taxidermy.
Okay.
There was somebody else who does a gaming channel.
Yeah.
And I forgot his name. But yeah, they could do a channel for sure with the taxidermy. I know a lot of people would be interested in that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do a lot of that up there, but worldwide they don't.
Yeah, but definitely check her out, Amanda. She's got gorgeous pictures, a ton more on there, and you'll see she posts a lot of stuff about the native culture. And the clothing and stuff, just gorgeous. And like I said, check out her hair because her hair is so long, way longer than mine. And sometimes I think, wow, this hair is so long, I want to chop it off. And then I was just looking at her hair and I'm like, wow, it's way longer.
So this week, when you see some of our videos, there may be some DIY stuff that we're doing here. We've got some pieces. I just don't know if we have enough yet. We'll continue working with that. I know we're going to be installing this fan.
Hula hooping channels.
Work with that. But you may see some flashback stuff that has not been put out yet. So you may see some stuff from Alaska we still haven't put out yet. So don't think that we just went to Alaska just now when you see the video. That's not what happened. This is from this past summer.
I wish.
We just haven't pushed it out yet. So
I wish.
Do some of you know about Watson Lake and the tree forest up there with all the license plates?
The sign forest?
The sign forest, yeah. So that's really neat. So that should be coming out this week. If you haven't seen that, that's something to see. And I know there's
that was pretty interesting.
I know there's some other things from up there we still haven't put out. So you might see some of that.
I probably still have stuff from Key West.
There's some RV shows. We missed the one in Nashville because that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday today. But there's another one, and I'd rather not go to that one. I'd rather go to the one at the end of the month down in Huntsville because I think it'll be warmer. Also, if we're looking for anything, the taxes down there are less, and it's a little closer to us. So we'll be probably doing that adventure.
Yes, James, we still definitely owe you a dinner date in Anchorage because everything got kerfarfled.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, one day. It's in the mental calendar for sure. So they had an RV show in Ohio this weekend.
It's a little cold for an RV show. Why would they do it now?
I don't know.
They have like a home improvement show too. And they do that in Fairbanks too. They'll do like I think it's in March. I think they do an outdoor show. They call it an outdoor show, but it's like home improvement stuff. And half of what they have in there is fishing charters. But you have to get on some of those early because they book up those fishing charters because there's a very short summer up there. So you get on, you go to those shows, you get good deals, and you book it, and you set it up and you book it. I don't know if there's such a thing here and how fast they book up for here because you got more season here. It gets cold here and it just recently snowed, but it may not snow again the rest of the year. They don't get much snow here and it doesn't stay cold very long.
Hey, Mr. Coop.
We got up to 44 degrees today, so huge difference.
Yeah, it's getting hot now, buddy.
Yeah, we were actually warm.
Get out your bikini.
It was 66 in the house, but we were outside. We came in. It's like, man, is it hot in here? I turned off the heater.
I know. I started peeling layers
we started
off.
setting up for the live. And I'm like, man, I'm going to take these pants off. It's getting hot. Not off, but the ones I had on, change them. Don't get excited.
I was wearing 3 layers of pants earlier.
Context is important.
Now I'm down to 2.
So, anyway, yeah, we do need to come up with an adventure, but weather plays a big part in that. We have the coach winterized right now, and it looks like we're going to be winterizing and de-winterizing this RV because of where we live now. But we do need to get. Right now, it's cold everywhere. Even Florida, I think, is getting down in the upper 20s. So we really don't want to.
I bet they're crying.
I want to adventure, but not that far. Like Florida doesn't interest me right now. I'd rather either like
Mr. Cube says 59 here in Central Florida.
yeah,
It's like a heat wave, buddy.
yeah, it's a heat wave. But I don't know. There's lots of things around here I want to see, but the roads here are still. I don't want to hook up and tow on a mountain pass with ice on it. It's not worth it. I'd rather wait just a little bit and let it warm up everywhere.
I definitely want to go to Maine.
At least warm Tennessee and Kentucky up so that we can adventure around here safely on the roads.
Well, better hurry up because I want to go somewhere.
Yeah, it won't take long. I mean, the weather here, it doesn't get that. That's an anomaly for that much snow to blow through here. I mean, once a year. That might be all we get. So.
Because the neighbors are going to be sick of me tramping around my yard in the snow like a Looney Tune.
We'll find some adventures. We'll do something.
Probably like, what is this chick doing now?
What did you say? There was a place in Shelbyville. Oh, you mentioned it, didn't you?
The Habitat for Humanity type
that
of store.
That might be interesting. Yeah. We could do some thrift stores too. We haven't found. I
Let's
know
go
we've already been to the baggage claim place up down in Scottsboro, Alabama. If you remember that, we did a video on that. I don't know if we want to revisit that or not, but they'd have different stuff there. But it's the same kind of concept. That's a big store, though. It's huge.
Huge. They even have 2 stores on the same property.
Wow.
83 in Cancun right now, Jessica says.
83 is too hot.
Are you sitting there with a little drink with an umbrella in it?
With a Mai Tai?
Huh. One of these days, you're going to pack me up and take me.
I'd like to do a cruise. Would you like to take the fans on a cruise? That'd be fun.
Did you hit the lottery or something?
You can get some good prices now for, upcoming cruises.
You can take me on a cruise.
Yeah, I'll take you on a cruise.
You heard it here, people.
You want to go to Cancun?
Sure.
You want to think about it first?
I'll go anywhere. What's to think about? Let's go. I'm game. I love going places. I don't care where. Well, I don't know if I want to run to Otter Creek or anything, but outside of that, yes.
We still have another week to think about whether we're going to cover any more of the meetings or not. We're really leaning against it. Here's something I can talk about.
Big drink, she said.
Here's something I can talk about. Huge. You guys want to talk about a little bit? Do you want to listen to me ramble on about YouTube algorithms? Probably not. So I'll make it short. Sometimes the content that gets the views, such as Otter Creek Saga, because we know that stuff spikes.
The saga and you get views. Otter Creek.
But when you talk about that stuff, you get a spike in views, but your pay is less. Does that make sense? People don't look at their algorithm. Some of these other channels think, "Oh, I'm going to keep talking about this really garbage until the courts come up with some actual answers." It's all just speculation and garbage from both, from the other side. And you get spike in views, and you'll probably get a spike in pay, but your pay per 1,000 views is how it's done, and it's less because we've looked at it. Some of the Otter Creek stuff will get you like $12 per $9 to $12 per 1,000 views, right? And you got high views. But if you stick to your algorithm for your channel and stick to stuff that what your channel is based on, then you get more money per 1,000 views. You'll get $18 to $22 per 1,000 views. So you're making twice the money with half the views. just something to think about. So not all material is created equal.
Mike wants to know if our case has been dropped yet. Nope.
Haven't heard anything.
We haven't heard anything new about it at all.
You'll be the first to know. We'll probably do an online announcement when that happens. If that happens. I mean, I don't want to be putting the cart before the horse and we end up in court.
Well, hopefully we hear something about it.
We got a few weeks.
Because, we have to drive to go there.
Yeah, we'll be making plans.
It's not like we just walk out the door and we're there. So.
Guess we'll be staying another week in Otter Creek, huh?
So it's so ridiculous, all the money you have to spend on frivolous things.
Defending yourself. Not anything you did.
Absolutely frivolous things.
Mm-hmm.
You have to spend money on a lawyer. You have to spend money going down there, staying there, all these different things for frivolous claims.
Mm-hmm.
When it seems to me, they making out.
Yeah. They haven't been hurt. They're making money. They might even get their house paid for.
So
how have they been hurt? They got a free fence. See how long that lasts. The next storm that comes by will clear the fence out of the way and it'll become a projectile.
It's a whole lot of crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so more on that. We don't really watch a whole lot. I'll sometimes if I'm bored watching something on TV that just didn't get
the
my
courts
attention.
Need to contact us beforehand, hopefully. But I mean, I don't think they contact you, in
directly.
Like, oh, do you think you can make it this date? It's more like, here's the date, be there, be square.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully somebody lets us know something.
Well, I'd like to hear it from Randy. That's who we should be hearing it from. We should be taking our marching orders from our attorney. So we're just waiting. It's still early. We got some time, but we're watching that, see what happens.
Yep. It's a whole lot of cray-cray. And I am still blown away that it even made it as far as it is.
Yeah, I can't believe
when there's no merit.
There's no merit. There's no substance.
So, but that's just another one of the shameful things that we get to deal with.
They're suing us and some others. It's a group of us. But all it talks about is what the hells. What the hells ain't even in the case.
The whole thing.
Why are we talking about what the hells?
Ridiculous.
That's how stupid it is. But that's my secondary soapbox segment.
The only people that make out in all these things are the lawyers.
Mm-hmm. The lawyers are the ones making a bunch of money just passing papers.
So, I mean, it's just ridiculousness.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for that.
Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us on this live on Sunday.
Thank you to all our awesome moderators.
We appreciate
you coming out. All of you being here and keeping our chat positive.
Keeping it positive.
And thank you to all our subscribers. Don't forget to check to make sure you're still subscribed so you get notification of when videos go up. Sometimes you have to unsubscribe and resubscribe and make sure you click on all for the notifications. I know YouTube likes to do funny stuff and unsubscribe people or just not do notifications. So every so often you might need to unsubscribe and resubscribe.
And always hit that thumbs up button on your way out because that really helps the algorithm. And if you really want to support the channel, that's how you can do it. It's free for you to watch. We know there's commercials, but that's how we get paid. So it doesn't cost you a dime.
And thank you so much to all our members. This week we took you around the yard while I was playing like a little child in the snow and having fun with y'all there.
And something else you can do if you want to help a channel that you watch, not just this channel, but whatever channels are on your playlist that you like, we'll do it too, as we'll all log on. But if they're not really talking about something, or if I'm busy doing something else, I'll just let it play in the background. I'll hit the thumbs up and I'll turn the volume down and I'll
love you,
do whatever.
Jessica.
It still helps their channel. You can let it play in the background. Right. You can let it play overnight while you're sleeping.
Yep.
And that helps.
It definitely helps. Just thank you guys for spending your time with us. We really appreciate y'all, and keep positive and keep the love going forward, and try to do what you can for who you can. Even again, if it's just smiling or waving at people, that does tremendous stuff.
Yeah, we love nice people.
Smiles are contagious, and share the love. I mean, love is free. Smiles are free. It doesn't cost you anything to share those with people. And you can really make a lot of people's days just doing small little gestures.
And try to love your neighbor.
Yep. Love your neighbor. Pray for your neighbor. And pray for all the people who are doing you harm and talking crap about you. Just keep on praying for them. And hopefully one day their hearts will soften and they'll come to God and form a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you could hope for right there, is that they get changed.
Yeah. Maybe they'll just, like these other channels, instead of me bad-mouthing them, which I could do, that's not what you're supposed to do. We hope, we pray.
That doesn't help the situation.
It doesn't
at
help
all.
the situation either. I think
I would love to be different than they are.
Right. So we hope that they will find good things to talk about on their channel and get back to what their channel is about. You know, if they're selling stones, then go sell stones. You know, talk about that. If you're doing storage locker resales, then stick to that. If you're doing adventures, whatever it may be, then go do that and get some of this negative play out of your playlist, because it really hurts an algorithm. It may get you some views, but it overall in the long
it does a lot
things,
more than that.
It does more damage than it does good.
Oh, welcome to Resident, Mariella.
Hey,
Thanks
Mariella,
for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. You'll get to see more of us.
More of me acting like a goofy child,
out in the snow,
which I do so well.
So we'll wrap it up here. I know that you got other lives you want to check out, and we'll be checking them out too. And we look forward to tonight. And I'm rooting for Washington to beat Tampa Bay. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But
thank you, Christy. Thank you once again.
I like Tampa Bay as well, but I grew up a Redskins fan, so I kind of watched them. But Tennessee.
I grew up a Dolphins fan. Don't hate me.
Tennessee Titans didn't look too good this year, so maybe they'll get some good draft picks and they'll be better next year. That's all I can say.
But I really don't care for much of it. I'm just there for the snacks. I'm just there for the snacks, buddy.
So I try not to watch too much sports because I know she doesn't like it.
It's okay. I'll put on headphones and watch something else.
There's a game here and there I like to watch.
Now, if you got some hockey on, I can watch that.
Like the 2 games that were on today, don't really care who wins. Don't like any of them.
Thank you, Debbie. We miss you.
Yeah. So I think
that's it. We'll let y'all go. I hope you enjoyed your week, and I hope y'all have a good week coming up.
Yep. Thank you,
Stay safe, stay warm, and keep praying for all the fires to go out and for all the people who have lost stuff and lives. Yeah. Please keep them in your prayers, and please, again, continue to keep Otter Creek in your prayers. Keep us in your prayers. Keep Jeremy and George in your prayers, and keep everybody, whether they're negative, positive, just pray for everybody that hearts will be changed and good, positive things will happen this year, and everybody can move on to bigger and better things with their lives. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so much.
Yep. Love to you guys.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us. Catch you next week.